What is up? It is Monday, March the 2nd, 2026, the day after the Supreme Flight Open. I'm here, Smitty. Ronnie's here from the bowling alley. We're going to do this show a little bit differently. Tonight it's going to be a little quicker than normal, I believe, because we're up against a deadline. We got to get Ronnie out of here. And Ronnie and I kicked this around. We might do this on Sunday nights after the event when everything's fresh and hot, and we'll go live. And then if you can't watch then, you can watch it whenever. So, Ronnie, you ready to do this?
Yeah, man. Disc golf's back, baby.
Oh, and it was a good weekend too. It was a good weekend. So, right on. I say we start right here with the ladies. I've got the Own Doggins. I don't know if you saw that graphic or not. I didn't watch a lot of it, but I did happen to see him throw up an Own Doggins graphic, which is pretty sick. And then we got Taylor and Fajakis, Lisa, Hannah Wynn there, and Paige Pierce. Let's start with Own.
Dude, it's getting really hard, especially with Kristen in retirement or whatever we want to call it. It's getting really hard to say Owens Goggins is the best player in the world.
Oh, I don't know how she can't be in the conversation for sure. You don't win Masters and Pro Worlds and multiple Elite Series events. I do think that the course helps Owen Scoggins once in a while.
Of course. Like, I don't know that her ceiling is the highest in the field, but for someone with limited distance and a very specific skill set, she finds her way into the mix almost regardless of what the week is. So, like, from a week in, week out perspective, it's getting really hard to say, just isn't the best female in the world.
Yeah, well, you talk about ceiling. I think the difference between Own and some of these other gals is Own knows where her ceiling is at. Own is nearly at her ceiling, and Own is consistently up there versus these other gals who have unlimited ceiling. Like the next one we're going to talk about here, Taylor. Dude, Division I track athlete, not just track athlete, but at the Alabama of track schools, Oregon. So you don't just go there if you're just chumps. So
yeah, really close to being an Olympian type of athlete, right? So, but to your point, I think you're right. Like the difference between Own's floor and her ceiling is razor thin. I think like she's just who she is.
Oh yeah, and she knows that, and she accepts that, and she attacks the course differently than the rest of them. And yeah, I mean, if she's within 3 or 4 of any of these gals, I don't count her out because I know she's not going to. She's not going to take a number. It's hard to call out her a shark, but she's more like a piranha.
Man, she'll come eat them up.
Yeah, she's a bad woman. She's a bad woman. So, and I'm always excited to see her win. You can tell it just means so much to her in the victory circle, and yeah, she's fantastic. Let's talk about Taylor a little bit. Did you at any point going into the last round think she was going to win?
Hopeful, but to be honest with you, I just didn't like. We've seen it happen too many times before. Someone like Taylor, like get up there, both on the men's and women's side, and then the inexperience, the studs start coming out on Sunday. Man, they don't let up, and it seemed inevitable to me.
Yeah, I didn't think she was going to win, but I tell you what, I didn't think she was going to finish where she finished either. She the little bit I watched, I think it was might have been hole 2, that one with the real tricky green up on the hump. She had a bad drive and a bad up shot, and she just threw the most perfect Anheuser little putter shot to the top of the hill, and I'm like, that was not nervy at all. But I think she'll win this year.
This year, I don't know, maybe not this year's, maybe not a stretch, but I do think she'll win on tour. She's one of them people, like, again, like you're talking about, elite world-class athlete playing disc golf. And when she figures out like exactly what she's doing out there and gets a little more experience under her belt, she's one that you don't want to let that happen to, because she might just walk away from the field and set a new bar. She's that type of athlete.
Right. I mean, I don't want to jump right on this bandwagon, I guess, with both feet. But yeah, I think I would not be shocked if she did win. But one thing she has going for her is she's coming off of the Tour Down Under. She's played multiple events where these other gals maybe haven't. That could have a little something to do with it, maybe. But she looked good, dude. I think she's got a bright future if she sticks with it.
Yeah, and I think she's got a good circle around her too, man. So she can draw from that as well. So yeah, I mean, she's positioned to be, incredible. But those studs don't get to be studs without proving they can do it, and she still has to do that. So,
how about Lisa Fakes? Did you ever think she had a chance?
Man, again, someone with a very limited skill set, right? There's not her and Owen kind of show a lot of similarities, just in the way they play the game. But I would love to say yes, but I just never felt like Lisa really had a chance to win.
Yeah, she's been in this position multiple times, and it's kind of the same old song and dance every time, that she's there and she's there and she's there, and then things don't play out that well.
Yeah.
So
you would think eventually, of course, Lisa's starting to get a little long in the tooth now, but you would think, like, as you keep doing that, you keep putting yourselves in those positions, one of these times it just kind of breaks your way, even if you aren't, even if you don't have your best stuff. But how many more chances is Lisa Fake is going to have at this point? I think that's probably the question.
Yeah, she's been around for a long minute, that's for sure. She's not a fresh face on the tour. One who is a little bit more of a fresh face is Hannah Wynn. She's been on the tour for a few years. She was playing fantastic, Ronnie, for 35 holes of disc golf.
She's one that really, like, she'll go on these, day or 2 day stretches where you're like, man, this, like, she's really got something. And then, it kind of does the same thing we're talking about. The everything just kind of catches up and just can't put 3 full days together. But no, she's in small doses. She's incredible. Like, when will she figure out how to make it a full weekend?
Yeah, I think hole 18, round 2, had a lot to do with her not winning this or being in the conversation for this event. You can't take a hog's nose on that hole, and she did.
You can't take a hog's nose anytime and expect to win. But yeah, for 35 holes, she was great.
I was shocked that, not that she threw out of bounds off of the tee, and not that maybe one person misplayed it, but nobody on her card knew the rule. She misplayed, and at that point, it's just a stroke, but you're madder than heck, and it snowballed on her like crazy, and she took an 11.
It goes back to the piece we've talked about numerous times on this show, and what is the value of a caddy? I think we a lot of times in disc golf, we think that there's probably not a great value in caddy until we see this happen, and you're like, man, if you'd had a caddy there, what could that have saved you, right?
Depends who the caddy is. If you have a Brad Hammock on your bag, that's not going to happen. He's going to know the rules, and he's going to let Yuli know, hey, dude, I don't think you're doing that right. But a lot of times these caddies are Joe Blow, here, carry my bag type deal.
Yeah, and there's a difference between someone carrying the bag and a caddy.
Right.
And, there's a reason in professional golf why everyone has a caddy. That is a team out there on the golf course, not just someone who carries the bag to save a shoulder or something,
Right on. And the last one that I had on my graphic was Paige Pierce.
I'm starting to wonder, man. I told you the same thing this week about Paul. It's the first time I've ever had a question about whether Paul's going to win again. I have the same question about Paige. I do think that Kristen not being there does open it up a little bit more for her. But again, getting a little bit long in the tooth, starting to wonder if it's going to happen again for Paige. I hope it does. I think it's great for disc golf if it does, but it does make you question.
Yeah, it's shocking how much she's digressed in such a short time. You know, the injury, yes, but Paul Macbeth had a shoulder injury. He's bad. People come back from this kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I was shocked. Any other storylines on the ladies' side you think are worth mentioning or looking out for?
No, I think Taylor was to me. Taylor was the main takeaway of the whole weekend, right? What is she the next star, right? I think you come away, and it's only 1 week, right? But for me, that was the main story from the weekend.
Yeah, this comment that Steven posted reminded me of something I wanted to talk about. Concerning Paige Pierce. Is she just going through the motions? I watched the very start of the round with her on the lead card, the first round, and Ella Hansen had to explain to one of the so-called best players in the world what this 30, 45, 30 time extension, all this crap was. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me, bro? How do you not even have a clue?
I mean, I get it. I'll say this. They've made it convoluted. They keep changing it. They're not making it easy for the players. You're a professional. You should know. 100%. Not going to disagree with you on that point. But the sport could be making it easier on the players too.
Yeah, I tell you what, dude, I was unsure what I thought about this rule and this time extension, which is only for majors and pro tour events. It's somebody at Camp Hawk this weekend is going to try to call a time extension, and I'm going to say, look, bro, I don't care how long it takes. You just get going, right? It doesn't matter for us. We don't have this. We still have the 30, 45, 30, and in my mind, we have if you're keeping up, you're okay type deal going on. But
you know it when you know it, right? You know,
yeah.
When you think to yourself, that was probably too long. It was probably too long.
But the way Rick used it coming down the stretch on hole 17 was exactly how this rule was written and intended to be played. He was in a terrible spot. He was flustered. He kicked his disc on accident and moved it, had to move it back and explain that to the guys. And he wasn't sure where the OB line was, and he was crawling in there. And he said, I'm just going to take a time extension. I thought, there we go. That's perfect use of it. Nobody's going to question why it's taking Ricky longer. Now, I do think that I don't know how much extension they get. I think it just restarts their time. They get another 45 seconds. Right. But we'll see somebody taking more time than they should, for sure.
Again, just a perfect example of what we just talked about, though, right? We're not really clear on how all that works. And if we aren't, it's their job to be, but they probably aren't either.
Exactly. Let's go there. My dude, getting it done.
He's been close in this tournament before. No surprise there. This course fits Ricky pretty well. And when that dude gets out in front, you can generally cancel Christmas.
Yeah. He was still Rick, though, man. Things would get going well, and then just out of the blue, you would see some ridiculous shot that you and I would throw. You're like, what is going on with you, bro? Like these last 5 holes, this dude struggled to keep it clean. He got lucky on a kick that went into the woods left that could have been a disaster. He found a window. He made a ridiculous eagle, which he goes from in the woods on a hole where you wouldn't think he would be to the most insane putt, which he didn't need at the time, but he needed at the time, to hole 17, scrambling his way to 17, and then coming down the stretch on 18. I don't know how you come up short, Greg. I'm putting that thing out of the circle on the backside or something. Yeah. If I miss that thing. Whew.
Yeah, if I'm caddying for Smitty right there, I'm going to tell him to throw this as far as you can.
You do like Simon did. I don't know why he missed it. I think it just slipped out of his hand. I don't think he was intentionally trying to put it right on there. But
you wouldn't think so.
Dear God. All right, let's go Gannon Burr.
Same old story, though. I don't even know what we can say about this dude. Even in weeks where it doesn't look like he's going to be a factor, all of a sudden you look up and he's
Here it
200
comes.
something silly. Yeah, it's just every week. I mean, at some point we gotta there is no surprise. It's unfortunately for him, it's like the biggest non-story there is when Gannon's in the mix because we just expect it. Like he's Paul from 10 years ago, except I'm going to make a little bit of an inflammatory statement. He's better.
Oh, he's the best talent we've ever seen, all the way around.
I don't think there's a question about it.
Yeah, and even when he's in a pickle, he's going to get out and save a putt with some ridiculous thing that it's just going to blow your mind. So, yeah, he's always going to be in it. 1095 rated last round.
I'll be honest, it seems a little weak. Like,
think it might have been 1100.
I mean 1095. That's kind of the same thing, but yeah, I mean that's just who that dude is. Like he's gonna at the end of the week, you're gonna look up and his average is gonna be 1065 almost every week.
He's a bad dude. He's a bad man. That shot he threw on that par 5 that went past the camera, man. That was gross, dude. All right. Yeah, so what about Beast?
I like the way he fought back after the start yesterday. If you'd asked me after hole 1 yesterday, I was like, this dude's never going to win ever again. But he showed a lot of moxie, kind of hanging in there, and ended up having a pretty decent round. I think maybe him and Ricky tied the last round or something, so there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. But my comment stands. Like, I don't know if he'll win again, and maybe not because of anything having to do with Paul, but having to do with the kid who finished second. That dude's just going to win so many events. But Paul's still, he's still one of the 5 best players in the world at his age. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know what else there is to say about that.
Well, I thought he looked fantastic, except for the start and then some other stuff in the middle. But
there was a couple squirrely shots.
I don't know if I agree with that putt thing. I don't think anybody putts well in the wind. I think the wind is the greatest leveling factor in disc golf by far. It's what we fight the entire time.
Yep.
And he looked.
I'm sitting in a bowling alley, right? It's the oil on our lanes, right? It's the same type of factor, right? It's something that you have no control of, but you have to try to figure out. And I think historically he's been a good wind putter. He's been one of the best putters of all time, historically. So, look, he misread the wind. He misread the wind one time. It happens to all of us.
I can think of about 4 putts that make me want to put a putter in that guy's hand when it matters the most.
Joan, I think if you asked Aaron Gossage, he's probably a pretty fantastic putter.
Hole 17, baby. God, dog. All right, and then I had 2 other guys on there. Let's skip number 3 and let's go to number 4. Number 4 was Kyle Klein. What do you think about that?
Again, a dude that's just going to be in the mix. Maybe the most underrated player on tour, like from the superstar level. When you start naming off the best players, very few people are going to get to Kyle Klein, but that dude, we talk about it all the time. That dude is always going to be there.
Yeah, he's a nerd.
He's a dork, but he's a dork who can play disc golf.
Twice he putted from circle 1, went to circle 2, and then had to come back. He pre-putted multiple times. He could have won.
He could have won.
If a couple of putts go in and save him some terrible strokes, he'll
It's a good point, Steven. Yeah, you say that, but go watch him in person. He'll flash the hell out of you in person.
Yeah, he throws just as far as any of the rest of them with both spins. Okay, here we go. The last one I had on the list, I think probably the biggest storyline from the men's side. I would have bet the farm that Chandler Kramer was not going to be in the mix until late.
We even said it. You even said it during last week's show when you guys were doing fantasy. I'm not touching Chandler Kramer. You should have touched Chandler Kramer.
Should have touched Chandler, not a couple of others.
I I don't know that I was as as deep into it as Nate Sexton was. Nate Sexton was throwing all sorts of like love his way, that maybe he's the best like one way player that he's ever seen, and yeah, I mean there was a lot, or forehand exclusive player, I guess I should say, that he's ever seen, and I don't know if I would go quite that far necessarily, but it is impressive what the dude does. He goes both directions with a one throw that's really difficult to go two directions with.
You know, I think Nate might not be too far off. I've never seen a guy who absolutely refuses to throw any kind of backhand outside of a putt.
I think Germ could have been the best player to be forehand exclusive if he wanted to be, but he's good. He's good with the other spin too, so he doesn't have to be that one dimensional. But we've seen Germ throw some just disgusting forehands, and I think he could. I think he could be as good or better than Chandler Creamer if that's what he chose to do.
Yep. So the tournament itself was fun. It was a good watch. It's I think we're going to get that every year at this course. I think it just lends itself to tight play.
Yeah, I was traveling on Sunday.
Did you see this announcement?
Sunday. Oh, what's this?
This is the Powerball Cup Championships. $350,000 total purse. Men and women both. 50G to the winner.
Is this our replacing the Tour Championship, or is this?
Well, it's the same thing, except Powerball, is the sponsor. It's going to just yeah. That's pretty good chunk of cheddar, huh?
50 G's is that's getting up there with some of the other fringe professional sports for their top prizes. Like we were just talking about bowling last week, and one of the Wichita boys won $100,000 last week. I mean, that's getting in the ballpark of seeing some life-changing money for these type of people.
Mm-hmm. Yep, pretty crazy. I'll tell you what, though. I get it. Title IX, all that other crap. I do not think that the women's smaller field, less skilled field, lighter at the top field, should get the same 50G payout as the men's field.
I agree, but that's not the ecosystem we live in.
That's too bad. Let's put it all into one pot, and then let's divvy it out proportionally by how many people are there, and let's roll with it that way. But Missy Gannon will be happy to add another 500,000 or 50,000 to her total. Did you see Rick? Is it 900,000 now?
Yep.
First player over that.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see the first millionaire this year.
Could happen if he has a great year. All right. The next thing I think we should talk about, this came up too. Free coverage of round one. You got to watch it on Disc Golf Network free. And first hour of each round free. What do you think?
I mean, it's fine. If that's what draws in more people to buy the subscription, then I'm all for it. I would, as someone who has the top level subscription, I don't necessarily love it from that aspect, but it also doesn't deter me from keeping that. So whatever can increase the subscription count and get us the best product that we can possibly do, I think I'm all for.
I'm with you. I think it's a really smart move. And I had the exact same feelings you did. Why didn't I get a discount then if we're going to do this type deal? Or why is my rate still the same or going up? So then I paid attention to see how long an hour's worth of coverage is. And it's like 3 or 4 holes.
Yeah.
So just enough to suck somebody in and make them want to upgrade and get that other one. I also think it's smart that you have to go to Disc Golf Network to watch the first day free versus just on YouTube.
Yep, I do too. And you and I are junkies. 6 holes ain't going to be enough for us. We got to see it. We got to see it happen live. So, like I said, I think it'll translate to more subscriptions, and that should translate to a better product and hopefully a better lead coverage analyst.
That was we had the same feelings on Perkins, and I'm down with. Doss gets annoying, but I don't hate it. I love Nate Sexton, but yeah, I could have done without Triple Nate. I just love Terry. I think Terry does fine. His dad jokes are stupid. He's not great when he's foul, but he's great when he's with the dudes.
Yeah, he's certainly better than Perkins. Perkins, we got to hear about the translucent leaves and the rainbows and all of the other stuff. Bro, just talk about disc golf, man. That's kind of what I'm here for.
He did pretty good this weekend, I thought. He
was
didn't
tolerable this weekend.
I think he took his position and stuck with it. He didn't try to do too much. So I could tolerate it. All right. You ready? Are you sure you're ready?
Well, I've got a hard out in 4 minutes. I might have to move that up.
The Survivor League is up, and here's everybody's picks.
Who am I in company with?
Well, we've lost that many. So
Heinberg got back to the top 15.
Oh, I didn't. I guess maybe I missed him. This isn't from Jordan. This was just for me in a hurry. You're probably right. Heinberg's probably out. Heinberg definitely did not get back to the top 15. So I need to cross Ryan out as well.
Not to throw Ryan under the bus, but I don't think he made it there. Misery likes company. So,
well, we got it. We got lots of company there. Okay, so I guess the last thing I have for this show is Kyle and Smitty's picks for the Win Dummies podcast in our Skip Ace Fantasy League. I'm just glad Stephanie Moore showed up.
I might have to rethink the sponsorship of this endeavor. Maybe the sponsor gets one pick a week. Maybe we'll have to do that going forward.
Maybe we can let you do something like that. But I think Cooey and I are going to move us up next Monday. I think we got a shot. But let's take a peek at what exactly happened to us.
Oh my
Jones is losing his 57 points.
And obviously it looks like I'm saying that after the fact. I love the Dallas Garber pick when you picked him. I didn't like the Gavin Phillips. That ended up being pretty good. And I hated the Kevin Jones. So
yeah, you know what you're going to get with him.
AB kind of didn't hurt you. He birdies so much that he's always a good fantasy pick. But yeah, Clemens and KJ USA really put a damper on the week.
In hindsight, me talking Kyle out of K2 for Anthony Barella. I haven't looked to see what K2 scored, but it had to be more than 64.
And turning your back on the other one didn't hurt either. Saying I definitely don't want to touch him. That wasn't real helpful either.
Which one was that?
Chandler Kramer.
Hey, I'm not a fantasy guy. So, right on, dude. Well, I think we made it in 30 minutes. Just enough time for you to go get the old bowling arm warmed up.
Well, I'm going to do it. I got Virgil's to beat tonight, so I got to be ready. So I'm happy you had me on.
Right on, dude. Good luck, man.
See you guys. Appreciate you.
All right, everybody that watched, thanks for watching. Aaron and Steven and Daniel, thank you for being in the chat. That makes it so much more fun calling that up. This will be obviously put into the YouTube playlist under the Win Dummies. The way the tour is set up this year, there's going to be multiple weeks where there's an off week between events. And we may do something like this, just come in with a with a much shorter show because it doesn't make much sense to talk about something that's going to happen in a couple weeks. So Cooey and I'll come in and talk about all the stories on next Monday for the New Orleans event, which I'm really looking forward to. I know nothing about the course except it's a John Houck design, so we know it's going to be good. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you get a second, like, subscribe, maybe get us in somebody's algorithm. I'm kind of looking forward to possibly doing this on Sunday instead. We might not get a lot of chat interaction, but it'll be fun to see our takes before the rest of the takes come out. I bet you they all just line up as far as I've been able to tell from one show to the other. So once again, thanks a lot for watching and have a good weekend.